All right, guys. It is our pleasure to welcome on two former guests of the show, two recurring guys. Our pick'em guy, Matt Steinbiser,
Good to be
well-known
back,
Steelers
boys.
fan. And
Good
then
to be back.
according to Zoom, we have Mason Foltz, but actually it's Nolan. Also big time Steelers fan. We talked with both of these guys about the Steelers early on in the year. Did you guys have hope when we talked? I feel like the hope was fleeting when we talked.
I feel like I still had some hope. I was picking them pretty much every week, whether they
You
were playing
were.
well or not.
You were.
I was all about them making the playoffs this year. I thought it'd be a little easier than that, but I had a lot of hope.
Yeah, I had a lot of hope also. You just got to think about Tomlin, dude. He just doesn't have losing seasons, dude. And that always just puts you in the playoff contention at some point.
God.
Like
I have a question for Steiny, dude. You were in Pittsburgh
I was at Ben's last game. Yeah, the
for
Monday night
Ben's last game. How was that, dude? That's electrifying.
Unbelievable. It felt like a playoff game.
Yeah.
Steve packed, a lot of energy, a lot of buzz. It's a Cleveland game too, so it's a rivalry game. It was unbelievable. I've never seen so many grown men cry in my life for another grown man.
That's sweet. Did you cry?
Yeah, it was cool. Oh, I cried a ton. I cried a ton. So
Sweet.
as soon as the game ended, I'm thinking, all right, let's see how many people stay. I don't think anybody left their seat for 30 minutes.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. It was
My favorite part of the whole thing was he just kept his helmet on through all the post-game interviews.
Right.
Yeah, that was so weird.
He refused to take it off. He was literally talking and his
Yeah.
chin strap is in his mouth.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
I'm like-
I would do the same thing. I don't want to take
Yeah,
that.
almost like he was like afraid of the moment, like he was hiding from it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. Being there was awesome. I would have spent whatever I had to be there for that last game. It was pretty cool.
Pretty good seats too.
Not bad. The nosebleeds, but not too bad.
Oh, were they
It's just
nosebleeds? Didn't look
Not
like
a lot of bad spots out there.
There's not. I had hopes for these guys, boys. I told you guys I thought they were a playoff team, and I knew they were limited, but mostly I thought Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati were all three overrated. Now, Cincinnati, they could win the AFC, in my opinion, now. But I think Baltimore and Cleveland both kind of proved to be a little overrated. I think they both finished at 8-9.
Yeah.
Those were a couple, the 4 wins for the Steelers. Those two teams combined. I don't think anybody gave them any credit for that. So I thought that might help them sneak in, and it did.
Yeah.
that Titans win was really, I think, the momentum changer when we went into Tennessee and played Steeler football, literally.
Absolutely.
So
That'll be
Nolan, what were your thoughts on the week 17 game with Ben winning in his final home game? What we
So-
assume is his final home game.
I didn't get as lucky as Steiny over here. I was on my couch at home, just watching the game. I'm just overflow with emotion. It didn't seem real. Like, you got to think, that's been my quarterback. That's my guy. I've defended him through all the stuff he's went through this year. And it was a lot of stuff he went through this year. But it was just so surreal just to see it end on that note, like how the Browns just absolutely killed us last year in that playoff game. Like, they just came into Pittsburgh and just said, hey, we're here and we're the future. And then it was just, I think that was like poetry, how Ben's career ended right there.
It
in the
really
regular
was.
season.
Could not
Like,
have ended
he
better.
got back at him.
Yeah.
Like, it
Now
was awesome.
that's the only quarterback either of you guys know, really.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I can
Yeah.
I
remember
mean, he was what, 03?
04?
04. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't remember a time where he wasn't the guy. My entire life, he's been the quarterback for my entire life. People were like laughing at me. They're like, you're making such a big deal of this. I'm like, dude, well, how many
Really
other
not.
fans and other teams can say, like, that's been the quarterback for my entire life? I'm 21 years old, I'm a senior in college, and he's been the guy. And then every single season, every single game, when you have him, you get a chance to win. They've never gone into a game they didn't have a chance to win with Ben on their team.
Yeah.
That is facts.
I can't relate. I've had 15 quarterbacks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Carson had a decent amount until Stafford, and now it's
No,
heading
I-
that direction again.
I shed a tear
Yeah, I bet.
when
So,
yeah,
Stafford
I mean,
got traded. I did.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, no. But obviously not as meaningful as Big Ben.
Yeah.
For sure.
Still waiting to
what-
see that Stafford jersey, the LA Stafford jersey, man.
Oh, it's coming.
There
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the playoff machine on ESPN. We pick the games and it gives you the playoff scenarios. I pound that thing for like the last month of the season every year, like every formula, every situation, every possibility. So I've been pounding the playoff machine for like 3 weeks, like trying to find a way to get them in. And I kept telling everybody they're going to get in. They're going to find a way. I didn't think it was going to happen the way it did.
Right.
I had told so many people they were going to sneak in. The first thing going through my mind on Sunday was like, I'm gonna tell all these motherfuckers they were wrong.
Exactly.
So
Same way I
actually,
felt, man.
walk us through that first set of games. Like, were you? I know Steiny, you had talked to me about it, but like, were you guys watching both games at the same time, or was it just the Steelers and kind of checking the Jag score, or was it?
We had the Steelers on the big screen and the Colts on the computer, and I was with my boy Deluxe, big Colts fan. So every time the Jags would score and everyone else is fired up, Damon just had to watch his season just crumble.
Oh my
Marching away.
God. That's
Wow, man.
awesome.
I know. And you know what's funny is I kind of told everybody, like, I thought Jacksonville was going to win that game. I was all over that one. For some reason, I just felt like Trevor Lawrence hasn't played like Trevor Lawrence could all season long. They haven't had anything to play for all year long. Finally, you have a chance to beat a division opponent and keep them out of the playoffs. It's the last game of the year, probably the most motivated they've been for a game since week 3 or week 4 before they fired Urban Meyer. And then when I heard the Colts, Foltz told me this in the bathroom, taking a dump in the locker room. And Foltz goes, they haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014.
Come on, man! You could have.
That's what I was.
You could have just said, "Hey, yeah, Foltz mentioned it in the locker room."
I don't remember where we were.
Gotta keep it real. Gotta keep it real.
That's what I was like. I think they're going to beat the Colts. But I was more worried about the Steelers, and rightfully so, man. They look bad. That was an ugly football game. Ugly football.
Oh yeah.
They always play the Ravens well, but I sweat that one out bad.
I was actually the opposite way. I was watching the Jags Colts game mainly. I was just like at the Steelers game. I was just like, okay, I know what this game's gonna take. It's gonna be dirty. It's gonna be in the trenches one, and it's probably gonna be a very, very low scoring game. And I'm like, well, I'm probably more entertaining game is gonna be the Jaguars game, and I'll worry about the Steelers game later because Ben always finds a way versus Baltimore. Just somehow pulls it out at their place.
It was so nice that Jags game was kind of over it, like early in the third quarter too. If they were both close at the end, I don't think I could have taken that. I think I would have.
No.
So yeah, I mean, we were talking about what was the feeling as the Jags pulled ahead. So like you guys said, like it was kind of over by end of the third quarter. You guys kind of were set, like, okay, all we got to do is win, and then just wait for that Sunday night game. Like, what was the feeling as you saw the Jags just pop off?
Is this really
And it
happening?
looked like Colts were going to lose.
Is this about to happen?
Dude, I felt like we've seen the Steelers do that 3 or 4 times the last 5 years where they go into the season, late game in the year, week 16, week 17, they play some shitty team like the Raiders or the Jets. All you got to do is win and you're in, or win and you clinch.
Yeah.
And they find a way to blow it. They have one of those games where nothing goes right. So watching that game, I was confident early. I'm like, this just looks like one of those games where a team needs to clinch and they just don't show up. Nothing goes right. They can't get any momentum. There are no rhythm. I kind of felt good like early. After that first drive, they get a couple takeaways. I think they got up 14-3. I was good. I almost wrote the Colts off too early. After that Steeler game, I never even dreamed they would tie. The tie never even entered my mind. Yeah, I was full on celebrating like they were in the playoffs. And I remember thinking, like, if they tie, I won't even be mad. It'll just be so hilarious and so astronomical. I won't be upset. It is what it is. Like, it'll be hilarious. Did not feel that way with 2 seconds left in the fourth and then the overtime period.
Like watching that. You got it.
No, go ahead.
I was like watching that Jags game, like towards the end, just like tick off. I'm like, okay, now Ben, go do your business. Like I was just like watching that game, like, okay, Ben, go do your thing. And those throws that I saw from Ben at that end of that game, that looked like me as a 12-year-old watching my favorite quarterback ever throwing dots to come down the field and say, hey, I'm still here and I can still play football.
It was almost like somebody told him to score. Like he seemed to turn it on as soon as the Jags game ended.
Unbelievable.
Those last 2 drives. So what I was actually going to say next, like,
about the house.
walk us through that fourth quarter.
Score at the time, they had to know the score of the Jags.
Probably, man. They got so much communication between stadiums and stuff.
Yeah, someone's probably tapping Tomlin on the shoulder and be like,
I think there was something that came out where like when they got in the locker room at halftime, all the players like looked at in the Steelers locker room was like, is this really about to happen? Like they had that moment, like, okay, now let's go do it now. But we got to keep the task in mind and we got to go finish the job here.
Yeah.
So
what was the feeling kind of during that fourth quarter? Obviously you guys had hope and expected Steelers to pull it off, but it got tight down the stretch there.
Oh yeah.
I was less. Sounds like I was less confident than you were, man. I thought they'd win the game going into it. I thought it would be tight. I know they always play Baltimore well. Midway through the third quarter, the end of the third quarter, when they were going into score, right before Huntley threw the pick in the end zone, I thought they were dead. I really did. I thought they were dead, and I keep thinking, this is your worst fear. The Jags pull off the miracle, and you can't go beat Ty Huntley and the Ravens. I was panicked. I didn't want to say I gave up on them, but I thought they were screwed. I'm thinking they're gonna do this in the most Steeler fashion ever.
Well, if you like, when I was watching the game, it was like there was a bunch of different plays that had like big impact for the Steelers offense. And we would just like run it once in one drive and then just shy away from it. And then I think what we saw in that fourth quarter was like, okay, we're going to play to our strengths, what we've been doing the whole time. We haven't been getting Najee up the field as much. So now let's start spreading it out a little bit more. And then when we see our chance with Najee, then we can run it up the middle, and then that will open up the pass game more, which it eventually worked out for us. And like I said, like when Boswell went up for that last second field goal, there wasn't a doubt in my mind. Was not one single doubt in my mind that he was going to drop. The Boz, man.
The Boz.
So what did you guys think at the end of regulation? They punted with like 30 seconds left.
Oh, yeah.
I was pissed. I wanted them to go for it.
Which game are we talking about?
The Steelers-Ravens. Steelers get the ball back at 13-13 with like a minute and a half left. They drive, 20, 30 yards, and they got a 4th and 1 at like the 50, and they ended up punting. I thought they should have gone for it.
It was
I remember hearing
been like a 50. Would have been like a 58 or like 58 to 62 yard field goal for Tucker from that point.
Yeah.
And like Tomlin, though, he's a big defensive guy. Like he's just going to be like, okay, let's play statistics. Now let's let the defense go work. So yeah, I was confident in our defense.
Paid off.
You should. Filthy defense.
Unreal.
So
you can't trust Justin Tucker from 64, can you, Carson?
66.
You guys had to do it to him.
66. Hey, it's funny to me at this point.
It's a good thing they won on Sunday and cost themselves the number 1 overall pick, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I was actually really happy we won that game, by the way.
Didn't care about the pick? Was it irrelevant?
Yeah, irrelevant. Because
it's always irrelevant to be able to beat Rodgers, man. Even if it wasn't totally Rodgers, it's just something about beating the Packers.
Yeah,
I speak as a Bears fan.
You guys don't do it much, but something about
winning a football game. I don't see a lot of wins. So when I see a win, I like to cherish it and celebrate.
So Steelers pull off what seems like it's the impossible, and then turn around and the Jags obviously pull off the impossible. What are the feelings? You guys got to sit through these 4:00 games now, the 4:00, and then wait till 8:30. What are the feelings heading into the Steelers, the Raiders, Chargers?
I'll be honest with you. I turned off football for the 4:00 games. I turned off football. I was happy. I was on cloud 9, just sitting there. And honestly, I didn't start watching the Chargers game like fully. Like I watched like the first couple drives, and then I stopped watching it until I heard the score. And that's when my heart just dropped, and I'm like, oh, this is really a possibility now. Like, I don't know if y'all saw what ESPN posted with Mike Tomlin, where his eyes got really big, and what all Steelers fans are thinking now. That was literally perfect for that.
Yeah, dude, I didn't watch much of the 4:00 games either, because I had like been through a spiritual experience the last hour of that Steelers, like making noises, half throwing up, running around my house, just like an hour-long gut check. So I turned football off. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this entire night game, of course. And I've got RJ and Jack and all the guys in the house, and they would not shut up about the tie. They're like, they're going to tie. They're going to tie. They're going to tie. They're going to take a kneel.
Everyone.
They're going to kneel down. They're going to tie. I'm so fucking tired of hearing about this tie. Like, I'm going to watch every minute of this game. It's not going to be the tie. I thought the Raiders would win. And like slowly as the game went on, we like lost guys. Like this guy went to bed. This guy went to do work. And pretty soon it's just me and RJ watching. And when they got into 15, that's when I officially got nervous. I'm like, I don't like this number. There are 2 touchdowns at an easy 2-point conversion. Like at 15, I was like seeing the future, and I was panicking. I went from this can never happen to it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, so that kind of moves me into what was next. Unless you got something, Carson.
Now go ahead.
Just talk about that fourth quarter and obviously Herbert just throwing that dot with 2 seconds left. Like where
that was
are
electric,
the feelings at?
That really reminded me of
Like, does it just crush everything?
It reminded me of the Lions when they got their first dub. It looked like that exact same play, like
Oh yeah,
stopping in the end zone right there.
And then
And as soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh my! I just said, okay, let's play overtime, boys. Come on, somebody score.
A weird little part of me was almost rooting for the tie too, because it was like so, like it was so exciting, right? Like I think every fan of football was rooting for the tie except for Steelers fans. And even part of me was like, yo, like this would be sick if this went to overtime. Like if this got really close, it might even feel better. Like this would be a very, very like the football guy in me moment, like took over my Steelers fan and was like, yo, like overtime would be pretty sick.
It was like a runner. It was like a runner's high. That last like
exactly.
that last like minute of the run, right before you hit the runner's high, was overtime for you guys.
Yes, exactly.
Just all the pressure, all the sweat, and then all of a sudden it didn't happen, and you're like, oh, this is good right here. This feeling right here is amazing.
Yeah,
it was weird because like I love both you guys, and I was like trying my best to sit there and be like this, like somebody's got to win, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to win, and then it started to get real close. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of here for the tie.
Yeah.
Thank you for the Chargers coach. I like his timeout calls. He's amazing. I think he should have a job anywhere he wants.
Did you guys see that it was? Yeah, later, I guess. Yeah, later. I don't know.
Who knows?
Later in this episode. So yeah, the Chargers actually, like, it was Renfro went in motion from the left. He started to go in motion to the right, and the slot and the guy covering him in the slot motioned with him. And then Renfro broke it down and went back to his spot, but the guy covering him kept going. So they were out of position. And that's why the timeout got called, was because Renfro had nobody on him. And we heard they were playing for the tie. But at the same time, Derek Carr isn't like, you're not just going to be like, screw it, let's win. Like Renfro's wide open. Just turn, look at him and go, there you go. And then just throw a dot because he's going to be wide open.
Yeah, you said that timeout on Monday, and I didn't see it. At first, I thought they were just trying to get your run defense in there, maybe make a substitution late. When they started handing the ball up in the middle, I'm a full panic mode, right? Like every Twitter meme or every tweet you saw of a fan like that was exactly what I was doing. Just absolute panic mode. And I got Schefter's tweeting, and I got every freaking account I'm following is tweeting about
Schefter's was the worst. Schefter's was the worst. I have Schefter notifications on for fantasy, and it was hell. Like he's sitting there like they're running out the clock. I'm like,
the worst part was like,
gotta calm down.
Every single person on earth was watching me and watching every Steelers fan watch that game. Like we were like the center of attention. Every guy in my house was looking at me, laughing at me.
I got buddies texting me from literally I haven't talked to since middle school. Like,
that's how it be. I swear to God. Every time the Lions win, I get those texts. I'm like, dude, who are you? Leave me alone. Let me enjoy my win.
I think it was the most exciting day of football I can remember ever.
Oh yeah. I did not have a dog in the fight. I watched my team get beat 31-17 by Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings, and it was still one of the greatest days of football I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
Honestly.
But now, should we move on to what they got to face now in the playoffs?
I just want to talk about one more thing. Daniel Carlson, I love you. Love you so much.
Seriously.
And Steelers fans actually donated a lot of money to like a Carlson's funded charity after that field goal.
That's awesome. That's actually awesome. That's awesome.
That's funny.
I think Steelers fans were ready to take over his contract if they needed to.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Do you get him in the offseason instead of Boz?
I mean, can he punt? We need a punter right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Our rookie punter's not really doing too good.
Didn't you guys take Marquette King for a year?
I don't think so.
Nah.
No,
You guys had Vic. I was thinking of the 7.
Yeah.
I was thinking it. Yeah. So yeah, like Carson said, what's ahead? What do you guys
Boys,
got? Are you pulling off the impossible again?
They're not in the same class as Kansas City. They are. This is varsity versus JV. But I have to say, you get a franchise that's not the underdog very often. Team that always has high expectations, high standards. How often do the Pittsburgh Steelers get to go into a playoff game where they're getting no respect, no chance, nobody's paying any attention to them, and they've got nothing to lose? I think just like the Jags going into a game like that where you've got nothing to lose, nothing to lose, no one paying any attention to you, the storylines on the other side. I'm not saying they're going to win the game. I don't think they're going to win the game. But I don't mind going into this situation with absolutely nothing to lose. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's a good point.
I mean, Tyreek's been limping. If you've seen that, he hasn't been full. And Kelsey really hasn't been Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And I don't know if you guys saw Ben's interview today, but he was basically saying dude, we're 14-point underdogs or something, and we are we're not in the same class, basically what we're saying. We have no shot. But we're just going to go out there and have fun. There's 14 teams in the playoff, and we're probably number 14. That's exactly what he said. But
is TJ healthy? I saw him limp on with a groin earlier in the game, but
that dude's never healthy, man. That guy's playing 8.
Healthy enough.
He's gonna play.
Is he gonna play 100% of snaps?
He should. I think he should. I think Najee is probably a bigger question mark because Najee got banged up pretty bad in the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when Najee came into that Ravens game, I think that really showed the heart of the younger guys we have too. Because Najee got banged up and he was out for probably a whole half almost. Yeah. And then he came back out and just fought through it.
So I like that guy a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you're the younger core guys you guys got is actually gonna be really good if Claypool can get a good head on his shoulders soon. So we'll finish it off. If you guys beat Kansas City in a magical fantasy world, how far do you guys get from there? Is it just immediately this just can't go any further?
Let me go first. If they beat Kansas City, I think they win the Super Bowl. I think it's destiny for Ben at that point.
Steiny did not like that you said that out loud.
I don't think he did either, but I just think if they beat Kansas City, it's destiny. It's gonna happen.
I can see it. Steiny loves what you just said, but he hates that you said it out loud.
Is Big Ben right now worse than Peyton Manning in 2015 when he won the Super Bowl?
Is he worse? Yes.
I don't know. I don't think he is really.
I don't
know.
Dude, Peyton's
last season right there sucked.
Dude, he couldn't throw a spiral, but he's throwing dimes.
He couldn't throw the ball for it.
The defense was great. Peyton handed the ball off, made a throw here and there. Couldn't make any big plays, but made the right decisions, didn't turn the ball over. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not even going to let you sit here and talk me into thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl.
But hey, Steiny, though, we did beat the number 1 team in the AFC.
Boys, you're getting me on.
We did beat the number 1 team in the AFC at their place while they were still fighting.
Or did you guys lose by a close game?
You guys are going to be.
You guys do against Chiefs.
He's talking about the Titans.
Yeah, I know you guys beat the Titans, but didn't you guys play the Chiefs too?
Yeah, we played. I don't remember what the score was. Well, it's not important. They get a chance. They got nothing to lose.
I forgot about that game.
I'm gonna Google it now.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with a team with nothing to lose.
Let's just say Ben should have came out after half of that game, Mike.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
But I mean, just looking at this team though, it's just so weird. When we play our top football, we can compete with the best teams in the NFL. But that's what we've seen at 3 games this year, maybe. But
they're gonna need everything to go right. They're gonna need a defensive score. A crazy review goes their way. Ben's gonna need to make every big throw. They gotta play the perfect game. They gotta play the perfect game. I'm not gonna say they can't do it. They gotta play the perfect game.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
go
hate to
back
I hate to bring up old stuff in order to make this point, which I hope I hope it clears it up by the time I'm done. Last year, what was the lock of the playoffs? It was you guys beating the Browns.
Yeah.
I thought that was the most clear lock in the books.
Yeah.
There's no way that Cleveland's going to walk into Pittsburgh and beat Pittsburgh.
No.
And it was immediately just what is happening. So
I love the fact that they got
what
smoked by
happens.
Kansas City. I love the fact that they're a 14-point underdog. I love the fact that everybody's talking to it. Someone today said, "Oh,
Are you serious?
It's better than a bye."
Yeah, we're literally like we're a 14-point underdog going into
Somebody
the
said it's better than a bye.
Yeah, somebody, I think it was on Fox, was like,
Better than a
the real heroes. 'cause
That's so
they
bad.
better than a bye. It's like a practice game. I love it. It's perfect. If they get blown out, Ben rides off in the playoffs, waving all those teams at home, the Ravens and the Browns at Arrowhead against a really good team, or they find a way to win the whole damn thing. Can't go
That's
wrong.
awesome.
You can't go wrong with whatever happens on Sunday. I'm excited to sit down, watch them. If it's the final ride, it's the final ride. You guys, I know you guys don't get to do this a lot. When your team's in the playoffs, that's the best we can.
Hey,
Doesn't matter how.
I wouldn't know.
that was true. What-
Hey, but
I bring you on my podcast. I'm nice to you. I give you a bunch of compliments, and you just gotta stab me. You're just twisting the knife right there.
All right,
Hey,
man,
now
I'm fired up.
I was in
we
the
do-
playoffs last year, 2 years ago.
That's true. You guys you've made it more in the last 5 years than we have.
Yeah.
hey, they should have won that game too. If you don't remember, who was it? Wims.
On the Bears.
Yeah.
We should have won
Javon
2 years.
Wims?
We should have won 3 years ago. We should have won 3 years ago. We should have won
Javon
3 years
Wims
ago.
against the
We should have won
Saints,
3
where he
years
just
ago.
dropped a wide open touchdown. Ugh.
We should have won 3 years ago. I want to show Cody Parkey how to kick a ball 43 yards when I kick his balls 43 yards.
Actually, the Bears have been playing a lot the last few years.
No, that was not a pause. I'm gonna.
So
No, but if we do win this week, I suggest I would be expecting another podcast, an invitation.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
We're riding this content train as far as it goes.
we need it all.
All right, boys. It was an absolute pleasure having you guys on.
for sure.
Always excited. Always good to have you guys on, whether it's individual. You guys meeting for the first time.
Yeah,
we didn't even introduce you
man.
before we
Oh,
hit
yeah.
record. We just threw you guys into it.
Yeah,
Love talking
Oh,
Steelers
man.
football. I don't care who it's with. It's good stuff.
Steelers football, baby.
I'm sure they get along.
I mean,
just fine.
it's rare to find another Steeler fan. So
Exactly. There's not a lot of them out there. We'll see you next Wednesday night, folks. Next
there you
Wednesday
go.
night.
Oh, okay. He's
I
locking
love
it
it.
in. All right.
Locking it in.